Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and baby, it's cold outside. It's not Christmas.
I know. I almost wore a Christmas sweatshirt today.
You should have.
Honestly, I was trying to go through my closet to pick out something warm because it's like, I don't know, in the 40s maybe out there today,
well,
and 30s. Yeah, well, it is. I mean, you know I like cold weather, but honestly, by this time of year, I'm with you. I'm like,
feel
all right,
like it's just been 30 and 40 for months?
I don't know. I mean,
like
I'm not really bothered by it, but I did want to dress warm this morning because my bedroom was chilly and I was getting ready and I thought, oh, this sweatshirt is so cute. I got the cutest sweatshirt for Christmas this year from my neighbor, Ashley. And it was...
What'd you get?
It's a sweatshirt that has chickens going across it, and because I have chickens at home, and the chickens have Christmas lights wrapped around them.
Oh, cute.
And it's so cute, and I wanted to wear it today because it's super comfy. But I didn't because I didn't want everyone to think I was nuts. But anyway...
And your point is?
I should have just worn it. That's my point.
Wait, where was I? I took Jack to school the other day, and I had Joanna with me, and she was like, "Yeah, we better go see Beth Cooper's chickens."
Oh yeah, she should.
They think it's chicken time. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, it's a little chilly. Maybe they're sleepy.
We're getting ready to get chicks.
Oh my gosh, they will lose their mind. When? Is this your first time getting chicks?
Oh no, this is our third or fourth flock. But okay, so. Jason is handling it. No, we're getting rid of the other ones. You
eating them, or what are you doing?
Supper. No, we're not eating them because they're still laying. They're just getting older, and they're not laying quite as well. And anyway, they're not our favorite breed of chicken. We like to try out different breeds, and so we're getting a different breed. But anyway, Jason's handling it. I think he said the new chicks are going to be here in May.
Like you gotta go out and buy them?
He might have said April.
A Rural King or something like that.
No, we ordered them. He ordered these from Valbert's.
Oh, because I love. There's nothing. Well, the boys or Jack and JoJo will be like, "Let's go to Valbert's so we can see the." That we'll have to make our rounds. We'll have to go to Worslands and have to go to not Worslands.
Tractor Supply had little ducklings. Yesterday, and the day before when I was in there.
Oh my gosh, how cute!
I wish I had a better backyard to have. Ducklings. I would love to have a little pond and have some ducks.
Yeah, me too.
But you know what about ducks? Okay. A lot of people eat duck eggs instead of chicken eggs because they're bigger and healthier, supposedly. I don't know. But have you ever been around like groups of ducks? They're so mean to each other.
Well, have you ever been chased by that big thing out at Charlie Brown Park?
That, I think, is a goose.
That big goose? Well, yeah. Duck, goose, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's evil.
I know. But the ducks, okay, so like my friend Faye, she lives at Fox Creek.
Yeah. And
they have ducks out there. And I've sat in her backyard with her and we'll watch the ducks. They are like all of the boy ducks gang up on the girl ducks. I'm serious. It's bad. It's like you want to
How do you know which one's a boy from the girl?
Because of their coloring. So like a mallard is like real pretty. Like the boys are like green.
It seems like that happens a lot.
And then the girls
only in that species, not the human species.
Yeah, and then the girls are like kind of a dull gray.
Kind of dull.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so it's just really sad. You want to rescue all the female ducks because
what do the females do? Do they just like?
They can't get away, and sometimes the boy ducks kill them because they use them so much.
Oh my goodness!
It's horrible.
I want to go punch those mallards in the face.
I know. I told Faye, like, if this was my backyard and I was sitting here watching this, like, every day, I'd be like, you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead.
Duck, I'd be out there kicking the...
I know. Quit raping the female ducks. Like, oh, my word. It's awful.
Well, that just changes my whole perspective on ducks.
I know.
My grandpa had ducks. He had a big pond over there in Clay City, and yeah, he had ducks all the time. He loved his ducks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I never paid attention. Mm-hmm. But well, yeah, that's rude. I didn't know. Well, Little Harry lived out at Fox Creek. I think my Uncle Harry's house was the first house built.
Yeah.
Out there at Fox Creek.
Uh-huh. Tina Luton lives there now. Yeah, it's a pretty house.
Yeah, when my Uncle Harry, when Aunt May passed away, Kai, my cousin Kai was like, came to Jim, because Jim's always liked Little Harry's house, and I was like, hey, do you want to, buy Little Harry's house? And there was two problems with that. First of all, it's split level.
Yeah.
Either way, you're going up and down. We learned our lessons on stairs, even though we have a upstairs and a downstairs.
You don't want to do it again.
I don't want to do it again.
Uh-huh.
And second of all, Fox Creek would probably lose their mind at Halloween.
Yeah. They actually.
I don't think Fox Creek can handle the early
So
white.
Fox Creek is one of those neighborhoods that has like rules. Like there's a there's and like I don't think like so in the city of Flora I can have chickens because there's an ordinance that allows that. But I think that Fox Creek and maybe some other neighborhoods have their own neighborhood agreements that you have to sign that say like things like that. So I don't think you could have chickens there.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have Halloween loud music there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, they'd lose their mind.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the people in Fox Creek if they saw Jim and I pull into Little Harry's house?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't
like,
be the
come-
favorite neighbors.
They're here. Me yelling at Vixen to get in the house.
And the sound carrying over the
water,
all of the neighbors.
peaceful water.
Well, Stacy and Jim are home.
It would tell you, we'll just stay in the south end of town where we're comfortable.
The South End has less rules. I'll say that.
Oh, shoot. That's funny. Okay.
You got
I do have an ad. I'm not sure which one he's going to pull up. Let me see here. I had a couple. Which one are you pulling up? Oh, yeah. Well, it's weird. Okay. First of all, it's for starch.
Yeah, I see that.
But it's talking about, okay, I don't know, a celluloid starch, antiseptic, destroys germs, protects from contagious diseases.
Oh.
World fame. It's the best starch. It's basically talking about destroying germs on your clothes.
Oh, okay.
It says destroys germs. It does not stick to the iron. It will not blister the linen. It can be used hot or cold. It gives you that pliable finish. It will not streak. It will protect from contagious diseases likely to be carried through the clothes. It contains ingredients which will positively destroy germs. Now, have you ever known anything like this before?
No, I'm wondering if it was outlawed because it gave everyone cancer or something.
Well, and it's celluloid. Celluloid just is a bad word to me.
What is the chemical used in this? And it almost looks like a box of baking soda.
It does, yeah.
But it's I'm guessing now it's just like starch like you would buy spray starch now to like starch your shirt.
Yeah. Does anybody even do that anymore?
I buy starch on a regular basis because I starch my fabric that I use in my quilts.
Oh, okay.
But I do not starch.
The only starch I use is
anything
I
else.
cook with that stuff to thicken gravies and stuff.
Oh, that's
That's not the same.
that's not. But it could be. I mean,
Yeah.
So are you talking about?
Clabber girl.
Yeah. What's that?
Clabber girl.
Baking powder.
Yeah, but it says starch on it.
Oh, does it?
It does because like whenever I
Well,
do
that must be what this is.
Yeah, I don't know, but this are putting on their clothes.
Well,
We
Maybe
respectfully
we
call
should
your
try it.
attention to our well-known celluloid starch, but celluloid makes me think of cellulitis.
yeah.
Why would it be called celluloid? Or is it elluloid? And that's just a pretty...
No, it says celluloid.
It does say celluloid.
Elluloid. I don't think it's a word. Hey, Ty, Google why was celluloid starch called celluloid starch.
Yeah.
See what happens. That's a good one, Stacy. I like it.
I know it's weird, right? Because I was just coming through that.
It does not stick to the iron. It will not blister the linen. Have you ever had your linen blistered?
I've never ironed a thing in my life.
I've ironed, but
I don't iron. My mother was like, "Oh, I'm gonna teach you how to iron," and yeah, it didn't work out well because my Jim irons.
Yeah.
I will use if I have to do something. I will use we have one of them steam things.
Yeah, steamer,
bad,
that's
'cause when
great.
I iron something, there's always a bubble. I hate
I know.
ironing.
Yeah,
The little pad on your ironing board gets underneath there and
yeah.
all bumpied up. and, he's still looking. What'd you find? Anything?
Celluloid is the first synthetic plastic.
Oh my goodness. So what he said was celluloid is the first synthetic plastic.
Huh.
So this starch had plastic in it.
And it didn't stick to your clothes when you hit that hot iron?
Guess not.
Because I imagine irons back in, this was an 1800s magazine I found.
That'd be a really hot iron
That'd be
that you got right off of the top of the stove. It probably wasn't electric.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, that's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think, especially with it being plastic, you would.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Ty.
Yeah,
The more you know, the more you grow.
And you are welcome for learning something new today
Yes,
on
thank
By the Way
you.
with Beth and Stacey.
Now I know.
Yeah, but we're going to take a commercial break, and I've got a story here that I found from a family in Johnsonville. And when we come back, I'm going to do that story. Then I found an interesting story on Greyhound buses that were in Flora and Clay City.
Oh, okay.
I had
Fun.
no clue.
All right. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I was talking to Bill Atwood, came into the shop to get a haircut the other day, and he's Wayne County. And so, oh my gosh, I'm going to start diving deep into Wayne County history.
I would love to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I've touched on a few stories down there, but there's some doozies.
He's given me a whole list of things we got to dive into.
Okay.
Then it had me, so then what? I don't even know. He didn't know about this story. I'm not even really sure how I found it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's about a girl. Her name was Clara Ellis Forth. She was a young girl, and she was from Johnsonville. And basically, she was murdered. It would make a heck of a
TV movie.
Yeah, a TV movie.
What were you going to say? Cemetery tour skit. Okay.
But she's.
Let's write a TV movie script and send it to Hollywood and make millions. Let's do that.
Wow, this one could go. Yeah, this one could go really well.
Okay.
Okay, so Lee Forth was a man from Johnsonville. And basically, he murdered his wife, Clara Ellis Forth. Clara was born in 1870, and she died February 13th, 1888. So this young girl, she was only 17 or 18 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
And they had one child. They had one son who lived to be an old man.
Oh, wow.
So Lee Forth, not a good guy. Lee Forth lived with his mother, and his mother was Mrs. Frank Brown. It took me forever because, like in the two stories that I found, I didn't even know. They just called her Mrs. Forth.
Oh,
they never called her.
So finding her, tracking her down,
and then I found out that she was buried in Johnsonville. So it was on the Find a Grave. Mm-hmm. Would you be proud of me? I did it all by myself without having to call and ask you.
She's getting better, folks.
I'm getting better. But anyway, so we're talking about Lee Forth. His mother was Mrs. Frank Brown, and she lived 6 miles southwest of Johnsonville. Now, this kid was bad. He was really, really bad.
6 miles southwest?
Okay. Southwest of Johnsonville.
Okay, so Jason's family was, south of Johnsonville down there, so I'm picturing the area. Okay.
Let me just give you a little bit of a background on Mr. Lee Forth. He lived with his mother, and he often threatened his mother's life. The neighborhood said he was a terror. He always was carrying a revolver and a dirk. What's a dirk?
It's a knife.
A dirk is a knife?
Uh-huh. It's like a straight blade knife like they carry in pirate movies or in Outlander. Just like they'll pull it out and be like...
Oh, really?
That's a dirk.
I wondered what that was. I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Yeah, Ty, pull up a picture of a dirk.
Yeah.
We'll show one
I got to see what this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was just a holy terror. He always carried a revolver and a dirk. He often threatened to burn down the barn of his grandfather's.
Oh my gosh. So what on earth was this girl thinking about
I
dating
don't
him
know.
and then marrying him? And where was her people saying, honey, no, he's bad
Don't
news.
do it, he's bad.
But some girls just like a bad
They
boy.
like the bad boy. His grandfather was R.T. Fourth. He stole a horse and buggy in Montgomery County.
Mm.
He served time in jail for that. His relatives.
Yeah, here's a dirk.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ty.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what that is.
That's what that is. That's
and he carried that around?
Yeah. That's not something you're going to cut a rope with or something that you're going to, like, let me fix this thing. I need to cut something. That's a weapon. That's strictly a weapon.
Wow.
He did that to intimidate people.
Yeah, he was not a good kid.
Okay.
His relatives interested themselves and secured his release after considerable expense. So he's threatened to kill his mother. He's threatened to burn down his grandfather's barn. And now he's stolen a buggy, and his family's like, let's get him out of Montgomery County Jail. We'll take care of that.
Continuing to enable him.
And keep enabling him. And it says after considerable expense.
Yeah, I bet.
So then, let's just say 2 or 3 years later, he robbed his uncle, John Warren, and he stole $330. We're talking, this is 87, 88.
Yeah, this is back
$330 is bank.
This is in the time period of Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yeah. I knew it would come around.
It has to in every episode.
And since then, after he robbed his uncle of $330, he also stole the horse belonging to his sister and a mule belonging to his mother. His character was notoriously bad. All who knew him feared him, and his bloodthirsty disposition was generally understood. So this guy is horrendous, but he's enabled by his family, and everybody was terrified of him. I wish I had a picture of him.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what he looked like.
It's hard to find pictures from that long ago, but
Yeah.
I can search while.
Yeah, you really can. So then here we go. So along this time, he marries a sweet little girl named Clara Ellis. Okay? So him and Clara get married. God only knows why. I would imagine her family was mortified.
Yeah.
But Clara did have a little bit of grit and gumption in her.
Did she?
She did have a little bit. But he married Clara, and then they moved to Springfield, Illinois. And he actually worked for a streetcar company.
Okay.
So they were there. Of course, Springfield was a lot more expensive to live in than Wayne County, Illinois. So after a while, they went broke. So they came back and moved to Florida. By this time, he's becoming a violent man. He's becoming violent with Clara.
Okay.
And he's doing his thing. They also have a son. While they were in Springfield, they had a son, and his name was John William Forth. And like I said, he lived to be an elderly man. So now they're in Florida. She's got a child. She's married to this horrendous man. But she's like, I can't live like this anymore. So that little girl walked with her son from Florida down to Johnsonville to her father. She left him.
Oh, wow.
And in the 1880s, that was a big deal for this young girl with a child to leave this man.
Yeah.
So I would say she had a little grit and gumption in her.
Yeah, she did. Good for her for trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, yeah. So she was like, I refuse to live with him. I'm not going to do this anymore. So she walked to Johnsonville with her child to her father's home. And it's just, yeah, like I said, everybody was just, everything that I talked about this man, or anybody that I talked to, and I actually have a customer that lives down in Johnsonville, so I called her about it, because I'm like, hey, I'm having a hard time finding stuff on this. Have you ever heard about this? Because she is an Ellis. And she was like, well, I might be able to help you find something. Yeah, but anyway, he ended up proving himself to be even worse than a robber and a horse thief and a mule thief and abusive. He was quite the horrible
Yeah,
person.
he sounds like he's nuts.
So this is where it gets interesting. So she's leaving. She's living at home, but he's visiting. He would visit her at her father's home in
Typical
Johnsonville.
abusive man. He's probably trying to win her back.
He's probably trying to win her back. You're right. So the Sunday, the day before the murder, Forth came to his father-in-law's house, and his father-in-law, Clara's dad, his name was William Ellis. Seemingly in a good humor, laughing, talking, as though he did not contemplate a terrible crime that he was getting ready to commit. His brother-in-law, Charlie Ellis, shaved him. He was a barber. So Charlie Ellis, the brother-in-law, he's there. He shaves him, shaves his face, the hot shaves. He, gives him a little trim. Everything's going really, really well, right? And then Forth, they said that Lee Forth stayed there pretty much all night, Sunday night, begging and pleading to get his wife to go back to Flora and live with him, but she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it. Apparently, she had tried several times, and she could not stand his brutality and neglect. So he went away, and he was mad. He left that night, but he was clean shaven. And what people didn't know, that whenever he left that night, he took that razor. The razor that his brother-in-law shaved him with, he stole. Okay? Well, the next morning, everything's good. He leaves. Little Clara thinks that she's okay. So about 9 o'clock on Monday morning, Miss Clara Forth and her little sister Josie Ellis, who Josie was 13, they started to walk to Johnsonville with butter and eggs to sell. And the reason why she was walking to Johnsonville, because I would imagine Lee did not help her financially with anything. So here's this little girl collecting eggs and churning butter, walking to Johnsonville into town to sell that to buy their son clothes. Okay? This story goes real dark real quick. So her and her little sister are walking. They were halfway to town, and they were met by him. So Forth is there, and they said that he had a club with him. He also had a club. So apparently he must have heard in conversation that she was planning on walking there, because otherwise, if he lived in Flora, and he's just hanging out, they said he just hung out all night long, knew the path that she would be taking. So he had a club on him, and he had a walking cane. And they said that club that he had was about 2.5 inches thick, and it was heavy enough to make a deadly weapon. Now, he didn't just come up on her and hit her and do this. No, they have a conversation. According to the little sister, so he stops him, and he's got this club on him, and he kind of used it as a walking cane apparently. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, so they're using it as a walking cane, and he's having a conversation with it. Said the conversation was taking several minutes. They were arguing. He was begging her to come back. He was like, "If you don't come live with me, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to." He never did talk about killing her, but he was like, but apparently, according to conversations, he did tell his mother that if he couldn't get Clara to come live with him, he would kill her and kill himself. So that's the type of mentality you're dealing with here. He was like, if I can't have you, nobody's going to have you, that type of thing. But apparently at this, when he was talking to her, he was asking her to just come home. And they were talking for quite some time. So here's what happens next. So she's not getting anywhere with Clara, and she's like, I'm not going back or whatever. And then he says to Clara, she starts to walk off, and he says, wait a minute. I know you're selling goods today. I'll give you money for our son. Clara's like, okay, that sounds like a good thing. So Miss Clara turns around, goes back, and to have a conversation with her husband about getting money for her son. He whips out that club, and he pounds her in the head with his club. So she's down on the ground, and he doesn't just stop. And after that, so he's beating her with the club. Little sister's screaming. After that, it would like the club was enough to kill her, but he didn't do that. He took out that razor and he cut her throat from ear to ear. So after he beat her in the head with that club, then he slit her throat with her brother's razor that he got shaved with the day before. This guy was a real piece of work.
Oh, and this all happened on the road.
This all happened on the road from the country into Johnsonville.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a commercial break, and I'm going to come back and tell you then what happened next.
Okay. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, you just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are talking about the murder of Miss Clara Ellis Forth from Johnsonville, who was only 17 or 18 years old, and she was murdered by her terribly, horribly, horrendous, abusive husband. Mm-hmm. And so at this point, he's found her on the road, and he's clubbed her in the head, and then he's cut her throat. She's with her little sister. The cries of Miss Josie brought Andy McReynolds to the scene. So apparently there was somebody. It's too bad Mr. McReynolds wasn't a little bit closer sooner.
No kidding.
So anyway, he hears little Josie crying, and he immediately, so he hears her crying. It says he came to the scene, and then he immediately started to town to issue warrants. Because this coward, after he does all this...
Yeah, where'd he go?
He takes off running. He's gone. So, Lee Forth, the coward, is gone. Clara is dead, and little sister's just there.
With the body, trying to reconcile this in her 13-year-old little mind.
Yeah.
Bless her heart. It's awful.
I know, that is awful. Yeah, it is awful. He immediately, Andy McReynolds, immediately started for town to issued warrants. Were put in the hands of Constable Holmes. You don't hear the word constable much, do you? Would that have been the deputy? I was looking at Jasper Russell.
Yeah, it would be a police officer.
The constable.
I think it's
term.
just an old-fashioned word, but yeah, it's very English.
The constable.
Yeah, it makes me think of Mary Poppins. Wasn't there a constable?
I believe there
Mary
was.
Poppins?
Yeah. He selected as deputies Jasper Russell and two Chapman boys, Forth's cousins.
Oh my! So they knew him.
Yeah. So now, this entire family probably hated this guy. Why would they bail him out? I guess people still do weird things today.
Yes, they do. Mothers still do things like that for their
Yeah.
sons, even though their sons are bad news.
Yeah.
They have faith that they're going to turn a new leaf,
Yeah.
And especially with somebody as manipulative as this guy.
Oh, yeah.
He probably threatened, manipulated his mother, moved words around, and convinced her this was the best thing, you know, to let him, to
I'll
bail him
never
out.
burn down. I promise I won't burn down Grandpa's barn.
Yeah.
I won't kill you, Mommy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's funny that the Chapman boys are Forth's cousins who they started west on the road Forth had taken. So let's get our bearings. This is south of Johnsonville.
So they start
So
going
they
west.
start going west towards St. Louis, I guess. That's
Yep.
far away, but that's at least we get the
Yep.
picture.
So they're headed towards like Orchardville.
Yeah.
Like that direction, but they're still in the country of Johnsonville.
Yep. So they started on the road to take after him. A crowd gathered while the inquest was being held over the body of Mrs. Forth by Esquire Alvis.
So that would be the judge, Esquire. Wayne County had some real English terms going on there.
They did. Huh. Interesting. So, like, everybody just standing around. So she must have been, if you're hearing these screams, they must have made it pretty close to town,
They were
right?
2 miles, according to what I read, 2 miles south of town.
So when you go
Pennington Lane.
When
So
you
I
go
don't-
into Johnsonville now, what is left standing in Johnsonville? Because like you go to the schools there.
The school's there on the highway, but
Yeah.
like when you turn to
So
go
town
into
is
Johnson,
not. You got to go into the town.
yeah, when you turn to south to like go into town, there's the church there and the Ruritan building, and there's a lot of homes and the post office and
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
there's
there-
an old
I don't know if I've
downtown
really
area,
actually even
a
been-
park.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually even been. I literally, when I go through Johnsonville, it's go to ones when I'm going to Mount Vernon.
Okay, well, what's on
161
161 isn't really. I mean, it's considered part of Johnsonville, but you have
Is it
to
on
turn
that- you
off
have
to go
probably
into
that
the town.
curve right there.
Yeah, I was just like right there in the center of town.
Yeah, I'll have to
Right
go
there.
check it out.
Mhm. It's like County Road 1 or something, and then that County Road 1 that's how I go to Wayne City. So I turn south there, and then I take a country road, kind of like Blue Mound, all the way to Wayne City,
Okay,
and that's where Jason's grandparents live.
Okay.
Back there.
okay.
Church
So,
camp out there. that kind of-
basically, everybody's after him, right? Well, Mr. Forth was even a bigger coward than what we thought. He ran and he hit in a Mr. Milner's barn about a quarter of a mile away. Okay, so this guy goes into Mr. Milner's barn, and he killed himself. This is so weird. So
How did he kill himself?
he cut his throat with that same razor. Weird, right? After cutting his throat, Forth walked to the other end of the barn, about 40 feet, and laid the razor on a log. Then, walking back, he fell with his head over the scuttle hole. What's a scuttle hole?
Scuttle makes me think of the Little Mermaid. I don't know what a scuttle hole is. Ty, Google scuttle hole, please.
Yeah, so like he cuts his throat. He goes to this ray. He knows the jig is up, and he goes into Mr. Milner's barn, cuts his throat. Probably doesn't. Of course, he probably didn't do it as aggressive. That's a weird.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's a really hard way to kill yourself because I think you'd get started and it would hurt so bad and you
You'd
would already be
stop,
so injured
yeah.
you would stop.
What is it?
It's the hole in the ceiling to get to the attic.
It's the hole in the ceiling to get to the attic. So what did it say? He fell over it?
He fell over it, so he went up in the attic then, didn't he?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, because he was in hiding. I bet he was upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then he cut his neck upstairs and then he fell over the scuttle hole.
Yeah.
Does that mean he fell down to the bottom floor?
It says he fell with his head over the scuttle hole.
Oh, okay. So,
So
when they
probably
walked
just-
in and they
yeah.
looked up there, it'd be like, well, there he is.
There
Dead.
he is.
Bloody
Good
head.
riddance. Get this. On his, what they found on him, he had $417 on him.
Probably all stolen. This
Probably all
guy was
stolen.
a total criminal.
Yeah, get this. This is so crazy. On his purses was $470 in money, a lock of his wife's hair.
Yeah.
Weird. And a well-worn pack of cards. Right? Isn't
Yeah.
that weird? The club,
So had he been gambling
Yeah,
to
who
win
knows?
the money? Maybe.
I don't know, but he was not a good guy.
No, he wasn't.
The club used in this murderous assault was brought to town, and at the time this was, apparently in the
1880s.
in the home at William Tenney's home. Somebody had that club. I don't know. It
And they
says,
kept it?
yeah, the club was used in this murder assault, was brought to town, and is now, well, this is long on exhibition at William Tenney's.
Well, I'm sorry.
I
but
wonder where that's
if
at.
I had somebody's murder weapon, I wouldn't keep it on exhibition.
Yeah,
I would probably
Burn
do
it
away
with
with it.
it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I hope that $400 and whatever went to her family and
Right.
her son, and for burial costs or
Yeah.
whatever. That's a horrible story.
She is Clara. Her funeral was preached by Reverend Richardson, and she was buried in the Johnsonville Cemetery. Forth's body was taken to his mother's with but little concern on the part of the people to his burial. So nobody even knows what his mom did with that.
Wow.
We don't even know what mom did with his body. If she was smart, she'd have set it on fire.
Well,
What a horrible...
yes, that is a horrible story. And, domestic violence has been around since the beginning.
beginning of time.
And it happened then,
Yeah.
and the women there did not have resources to help them, or safety, or any understanding of mental health or anything. But
Yeah.
luckily today there are.
He's evil.
So
Yeah.
I am going to mention that there is an 800 number called, and it's 1-800-799-7233. If you are in a similar situation and need help with domestic violence, call and start talking to someone. They'll tell you how to handle that better. So,
But
I mean, what
I
a
will give it to her.
horrible story.
I will get. I mean, at least here she is, young girl with a child, and she's like, "I'm not staying."
Yeah. To leave in
To
that
leave.
time frame,
And
like,
even
that's-
in that situation where they're fighting right there, she's like, "I'm not going back." There was nothing he could have done. She's like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not living with you." He walks back. He's like, "Wait a minute. Here's some." He probably pulled out. I've got here, and then she's like, "Oh, thanks," and boom, then it was done. So to me, that little girl, she was definitely.
what a sad story.
It's very sad. It's a very sad story. But I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a terrible thing to say, but
Well, anyway,
good
next
riddance.
time you're south of Johnsonville, think
Yeah.
about that sweet little girl that got murdered along the road.
Yeah, I'd like to go. I'd like to visit that Johnsonville cemetery.
Yeah, we should. We should go. We
Well,
should
it's
go
about
to
time
that
for a
one.
cemetery run.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm ready to go there, and yeah, so an interesting story. Like I said,
Yeah,
I just
I'm
came
glad
out-
you told that one.
I'm gonna start diving into some Wayne County history because wow, Wayne County's is
Yeah, they got some crazy stuff
Wayne
that's happened
County's
down
about crazier than it comes.
for
And
sure.
You married one of them.
I know those Wayne County men.
Those
I
Wayne
tell you
County-
what.
So we're going to take a total different leap here, and I'm just going to do a little introduction of the next story I'm going to read from Rena Lynn's Thomas. I had no idea that we actually had Greyhound buses that stopped in that, like, we actually like sold tickets and stuff in Clay City.
Yeah, I didn't know that
I
either.
didn't know that either. It's a Piecing Together the Past by Rena Lynn's Thomas. Take a bus and leave the driving to us, and then some of the fares. You know, just some of the costs of the fares.
Okay.
I just skimmed over a little bit. It looks like this took place in the 40s. So, yeah, so we're going to talk about that because I have the only memory of a Greyhound bus I have is up in Effingham what's that?
McDonald's?
No, where the original Greyhound bus, that goat's there. Gabby Goat's there.
Oh, the Gabby Goat, that old depot.
Yeah, that old depot. And I remember my dad's Uncle Bob came and visited us. He was kind of like a hobo type guy. And I remember riding with my mom and dad to the and taking Uncle Bob to the
cool.
Greyhound. But never saw him since. He was just kind of. But my dad's family's got some. It's kind of sad how his grandfather was to his sons. But anyway, that's a whole other story, which you'll hear
Okay.
about that cemetery tour. But yeah, I want to talk about this because I'm like, what?
Uh-huh.
How did I not know this? But we're going to
Yeah.
take a commercial break. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Greyhound buses.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me order lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh, yeah. Give me all your guns, too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I'm going to talk about this article that Rena Lynch Thomas had put in the Hometown Journal. This was March 24, 2005. And Rena's basically talking about how she came across this advertisement in a Clay County Advocate Press newspaper, and it was from April of 1948. And she was like, Greyhound fares are still way down. And it's like talking about like one-way tickets and all this kind of stuff. But basically, there was a Greyhound bus stop in Clay City, so the Greyhound, like you buy your tickets there, and you'd also leave from there. And so she's talking about the Greyhound bus. And back then in the 40s, not everybody had a car.
Right.
Every family,
not every family had a car, and not everyone had driver's licenses.
Everybody had, you had dad had a car, he would go off to work, and then the mom and the children would either walk to town or apparently in our area in Clay City and Florida stuff, go to the Greyhound bus and go where they needed to go, which I had no clue. Most towns had a Greyhound bus station or ticket office. There was a place called the CNR Cafe in Clay City. And Rena's talking about the tickets, because she remembers it. She said the ticket office that she remembered was Sunday's Ice Cream Parlor in Clay City.
Sounds good.
Yeah. She said, my brother Dale, who was in the Navy in the early 1960s, always arrived on leave by way of the Greyhound bus. And when he returned, we took him back to the cafe to catch the bus back to his base. So that's an interesting thing. So he would catch the Greyhound bus, buy the ticket at Sunday's Cafe in Clay City, Illinois. This is kind of sad. She says the vision of Dale getting on that bus has always struck in her mind, as it was the last time she did see him.
Oh, that's sad.
After his leave, she said they took him to catch the bus at Sundays in Clay City. That was the last time she would see him. He actually drowned.
Oh my! In the service?
No, he said. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. No, wait a minute. Let me see. He drowned in June 1962 at Norfolk, Virginia, while serving on the USS Thor with the U.S. Navy. He was only 20 years old. Did you know that? I didn't know that she had a brother that drowned. So, yeah, while he was in the service.
That's terrible.
She says in Flores, she believes the Star Hotel and later the East End Cafe were also ticket agents for the same company.
Yeah, I've heard about the Star Hotel being one.
We need to do a story on the Star Hotel, too. Yeah, that's the Star Hotel set there right on the corner in Flora. Where you have the depot, and then right north of the depot, that long building right there, the Star Hotel set right there. So that original part, where we have our meetings and stuff, wasn't there. That's kind of a neat. I would like to hunt down some stories on the Star. And I would like to do another story on that Mediterranean hotel where Phil Wiley has his office. My goodness, the pictures in that looked like it was.
I would love to restore that building.
Oh, man. Boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Etchison's must own it.
He does.
Okay. Anyway, and then she said that her husband Don remembered Xenia also had a station where one could catch the bus. It was the old mobile service station on Old Highway 50 on the southeast corner of the Xenia Highway 50 intersection. One could go all the way to Boston, Massachusetts and back.
Wow.
For only $32.80. Like some of these, so you could get...
Can you imagine how long that took?
Oh, good Lord.
Those buses, they probably went 40, 50 mile an hour, I bet.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Just chugging along all the way to Boston.
Here's where the fares in Clay County. If you wanted to go to Washington, D.C., a one-way ticket was $12.25. Round trip was $22.05.
Did they have bathrooms on those buses back then?
Oh, I doubt it.
I doubt it, too. So, what did you do? If you had to pee real bad.
I don't know.
But you were stuck there. You can't be pull over.
Right. The cheapest fare, if you wanted to leave Xenia, Florida, Clay City, a one-way ticket to St. Louis, Missouri. How much do you think a one-way ticket to St. Louis, Missouri was?
$2.
Abby? Ty?
She said 3. Ty's going to say,
I'll do $1.
he's going to say $1.
Up, you're over, you're under. Beth is close. $2.25.
Woohoo!
Okay, now if you wanted a round trip ticket.
Oh, well, I'm just going to double it and say $4.50. I don't know.
Okay, round trip, $4.05.
Oh, you get a discount. Okay.
You get a discount. How fun is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to go to Oklahoma, basically the most expensive trip. If you wanted to leave here, you could. Your choices were Washington, D.C., Boston, Athens, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Philadelphia, Lexington, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Tulsa, Oklahoma. The most expensive trip was, of course, that trip to Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
If you wanted one way, it was $18.20. If you wanted round trip, it was $32.80.
What if you were just going to, like, say, a small town in Pennsylvania or something? Could you get on one of those and they might drop you off on the way?
I don't know.
Do they stop at all these other little towns? I mean, they're stopping at Clay City. They're stopping at Flora.
I bet they stop.
Do they stop often and pick up people, or you can just get off there?
I don't know. I would say because like at the beginning when she's talking about like if somebody needed to go from like Clay City to Flora, they would get on the Greyhound, and so I bet they did. I bet in our little general area wherever it stopped, you could just buy. That would probably cost you a nickel.
Yeah,
that probably wouldn't cost you very much.
Have fun.
It is fun. Let's see. She also wanted to touch on another subject carried in the April 1948 newspaper. This is parking meters.
Oh, okay.
I remember. Do you remember parking meters?
Not in Flora.
When they were yeah. There was a discussion of parking meters for downtown Flora. She said she wasn't certain why they were actually installed, but the paper reports the Flora City Council split on the issue, but the final vote found a 1-vote majority in favor of the meters. It was stated that the meters being installed were a means of controlling and relieving downtown traffic congestion. So basically they wanted to put meters down there so you had to pay to park so you wouldn't go shop. Does that sound like that to you?
Control the traffic so there's not a bunch of people parked there all day. Yeah.
Yeah. She finishes out this article and she says, boy, have times changed. Now we are being explored to get more people downtown. When new Highway 50 was built, it changed the traffic flow through downtown Flora as well as many other small towns along the way. The meters did give added revenue to the towns who had them, but most, if not all, of the towns have since done away with the meters. Irina says she believes Flora's were removed sometime in the late 70s or early 80s. Now that would be, okay, so now I'm curious. We see them old pictures of downtown Flora. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can ever, of course, they
and what year was those prices?
This was in 1948.
Hey, Ty, Google a 1948 Greyhound, please. I want to see a picture. Those old ones are like so cool looking.
Yeah.
Like they're rounded, and their color. I think they were turquoise or something. Some of them.
1948 Greyhound bus. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I remember, but I would now I want to take a little bit more of a look. Oh, wow. Woohoo.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Oh my gosh. Look at the turquoise and white.
Uh-huh.
Greyhound lines.
Uh-huh.
1948.
And they got little curtains in the window.
Isn't that adorable?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's super cute.
That's super cute. I can honestly say I've never been on a Greyhound bus.
Nope, me either.
My sister took a Greyhound from Panama City.
Okay.
And it was apparently one of the most nightmarish weeks. It was in the 80s. And I don't know.
She rode it home up here?
Oh, yeah. She rode it from Panama City Beach to Effingham, Mom and Dad paid. And it was terrible. And she never rode it again, I think, at that
time. Yeah, I bet it took her forever to get here.
It took forever, and there was some shady.
Dirty.
Because that would have been, that would have been late 70s. I moved down there, I think, in 78 or 79.
Yeah.
So something like that, and then that was your hippies and your hippies and your hitchhikers and apparently Greyhound buses were notorious for like, hey buddy, you want on? And she said it was terrifying. It was awful. Mom and Dad were like, never again. Plus, I think it took like 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, they stopped at every little place.
Yeah, no thanks.
Everywhere she went, because Diane would have been probably 19 or 20. They were like, never again. So that didn't happen again.
Yeah.
But yeah, how interesting.
No kidding.
Yeah, what an interesting. I had no idea, though, that we had Greyhound bus stops.
Yes. Yeah.
Nope. Let's do a little Here's Your Sign.
Okay. These are funny.
Why is my book falling apart?
I don't know.
It's brand new. We'll do a few. Oh my, what is this?
Yeah, make sure you read those first.
Okay, I make one mistake, or 2 or 3, or 10. Here's Bill Engvall. Here's your sign. I drove out to the lake near where we live and was walking down the dock holding a fishing pole. A guy asked me, "Are you going fishing?" I said, "Nope, I'm taking the worms water skiing."
Here's your sign.
Here's your sign. Here's a good one. Let me make sure there's no... Okay. I was at a parachuting school the other day, walking around with a parachute on my back. A guy asked me, "Are you going to jump out of a plane?" I said, "Nope. I wear this when I walk because it helps me to slow down." It is funny. You know how many dumb questions we probably...
I know. People asked, and I've been guilty before, too, of asking a dumb question, but wow.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness sakes. Okay. Last winter, my kids and I were making a snowman in the front yard. A woman walked by and asked, "Are you going to build a snowman?" I said, "Nope. We're just rolling snow off the yard."
Oh, goodness. Those are funny.
These are I lost my
Oh,
glasses.
no. I hope they didn't break.
Oh, they didn't. If they did, they're cheaters.
Oh, okay.
So I don't need real glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another good one, right? Okay. Make sure no nasty.
Okay.
Bill, I don't think Bill Engvall's he's not as dirty as the other
Okay. Good.
guys, is he?
Good. I don't know.
When I was at the vet's the other day, I overheard the doctor tell a woman, "Give your dog one pill twice a day." She looked puzzled and asked, "How do I give her the same pill twice?"
That one's really funny. Oh, my goodness. Crack up.
Those are funny.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Thanks for the laugh.
We're a little ahead of time. Is there anything else you want to say about the stories we did today?
No, just that I can remember hearing stories about the Greyhounds being in Florida as well, and by the depot.
Did you ever take a Greyhound bus?
No, but I have ridden on different tour buses. Like we do a quilting bus trip, but that's not really quite the same thing because you're with a group of people that you signed up to be with, and you're going someplace. I don't know. It's just more controlled.
I think the only time I've ever been on one was NAL used to take that get a couple tour buses take us to
the covered bridge.
Covered bridge.
Yeah, I used to go on that trip every year.
I loved that trip.
Yes. You know, what happened to Covered Bridge?
It got trashy.
It got trashy, and it got all of, it's not crafty, it's not antique-y, it's just let's buy these bamboo sheets that were made in China.
As seen on TV.
There's 20 booths with as seen on TV stuff. There's 20 booths with bamboo sheets. There's 20 booths with socks, and and then all of the good stuff is gone, and I'm sad about that.
I am sad about that too because it was one of my favorite days.
Yeah.
It was one of those times that I was okay to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I enjoyed it. And
I
it was
enjoyed it.
Layering your clothes. I don't know. Once I get there, am I going to be hot? Am I going to be cold? Grab a jacket, pack a backpack. We carried a backpack with us.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we were there for the day. Yeah, I had one of those little pushy carts.
I had my cart. I pushed my cart.
Yeah.
And then I went to eat and... Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. You got all that food. The food is amazing at that place. But I eat this because I'm obsessed with corn dogs.
Yeah.
So I literally time to eat again and get a corn dog. They're there's a million things to eat here.
Yeah, but I feel so Covered Bridge is kind of taking a turn for the worse, but there's other festivals that are really awesome out there. I guess there's one in Indiana that's called the Chandelier Barn Market. Melissa Smith goes to that one. It's supposed to be amazing stuff, like the old Covered Bridge Festival.
Really?
But it's called Chandelier Barn
Where's
Market.
It at?
Over by Washington, Indiana. I'd have to look.
Washington. That's where the gas staff's at.
what?
The Gastoff restaurant. That's an Amish homemade restaurant. That's the best chocolate pie you'll ever eat in your life.
Really? Does it
Road
have
trip.
Does it have Cool Whip on top, or does it have meringue?
It is homemade, beets fresh that day, Cool Whip.
Okay, because I'm not a big meringue
I'm not a
kinda
big
gal.
meringue person, and it stands the. That's fantastic.
Okay, so the next time there's a Chandelier Barn Market,
wanna
we
go.
need to go.
Yeah.
But also, another market that I love that is so close is the one that's at Charlie Brown Park. There's one this
Ooh,
fall.
Junk Teak.
Junk Teak.
I love Junk Teak.
Lacey Lewis's Junk Teak Market. It's amazing. Love that
yeah,
one.
you want to pay attention to the Junk Teak
Mhm.
market.
Follow them on. I think you can follow Junk Teak on Facebook
Yeah.
if you're not familiar
Junk
with that.
Teak's, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Great
I
festival.
love Junk Teak
Mhm.
too. Yeah, it's good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm gonna give up. What was it? Me and you and Amy and Carissa went, and we even spent the night in a hotel. Remember?
Mhm. Yep.
We were gonna make a whole weekend of it, and it's like were we at Covered Bridge for like 2 hours?
Yeah, it was so disappointing. And I could just
And
walk
just
and walk.
people. Oh,
And
what's wrong with me?
everybody brings their dog. Why? Why? I like dogs.
I
You
love
like dogs. But why have all the dogs in this crazy crowd?
Why? I don't understand.
All they're doing is slowing down the traffic,
and then
the
they're pushing them
walking.
silly dogs and buggies and
And also the babies, you bring a wagon. You're pulling a wagon with your 6 kids and your 3 dogs, and you're walking slower than pond water. Why?
yeah.
Why?
I never did
I
understand.
don't understand
that.
the
And
thrill.
that's one of those things because I've been going to Covered Bridge for a long time. It used to not be that way. Then the next thing you know, you got one person that brings their dog. Now everybody's bringing their dogs.
Mhm.
And it's like, come on, people.
Right. This is a place for fast walking and serious shopping. Get your dogs and your kids and leave them at home.
Yeah.
That's
well,
my
no,
two
there's
cents.
nothing worse because not everybody's responsible pet owners.
Exactly.
So then their dogs make a dookie.
Oh, yeah.
And then nobody picks it up, and
Oh,
then you
right.
step in it.
Exactly.
And then you're with their dog all day long.
Or it's super duper hot because sometimes it is,
Yeah,
and their
it's too
dog's
hot for 'em.
panting and they're not giving it any water, and you're like, oh my gosh, this poor dog's like about to die. Or not that it's all concrete, but like then their paws get hot, and you're like, why do you have this dog out here? It's obviously miserable. You're dragging it through.
Yeah. Same way with babies. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it either. It's like, it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't find a babysitter, don't go.
Mhm.
But one of the greatest things about we had more fun rummaging on the way back.
Yes, the rummage sales up and
sales
down.
were amazing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind doing that. But yeah, find out from Melissa when that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Beth,
but
tell them
anyway,
where they can find
you
us.
can always find us on Channel 100 Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. and then again at 3 p.m. And our new episodes air on Thursdays and Fridays. Or you can also find all of our episodes on our YouTube channel. If you just type in Beth and Stacey, it should pop up. You'll see our picture. Click on that. That is our YouTube page. All of our videos are there, and you can watch any of them from the very beginning. Go back and see the early ones if you missed those. So anyway, you can like and follow us on Facebook as well. And that pretty much wraps it up for today. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.